Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. And this video here, I feel like I have to talk about the Spanish managers absolutely dominating world football right now, because it's become a bit of a trend, especially, I guess, in the Premier League. And we look abroad at some of the teams that do well in different divisions, teams that do well in European competitions, and in Euro 2024 itself. Spanish managers and Spanish players have dominated in recent times, especially since sort of the turn of 2020 onwards. It's been a common trend. I've got a few sort of different examples to show this, but it looks at the current point in time. If you want a manager that is technically sound, that knows his style of football and will play to his style of football, and a style of football that actually works, you go with the Spanish manager. And you look right now in world football, we've got Real Madrid once again winning the Champions League, a Spanish side. We've got the Spain national team winning the recent European championships. We've got Rodri being the best player in world football, who's also Spanish. We are in a Spanish generation at this current point in time, and arguably the best up and coming talent is Lamine Yamal, a Spanish talent as well. So you look around world football right now, and Spain is the hot topic in all circles of football discussion at this current point in time. But in particular, Spanish managers. So now I look to the Premier League: Pep Guardiola, Andoni Iraola, Mikel Arteta, Unai Emery. Then you go abroad, Xabi Alonso with Bayer Leverkusen, Michel in particular at Girona, and then also De La Fuente for the Spanish national team, who came and did a fantastic job with the Spanish national team winning European Championship 2024. So it seems to be these managers, this style of football is dominating the world sphere right now, especially the European competitions. And you start with Pep, obviously the mastermind of a lot of these managers in many regards. They all learn a lot from Pep, and they apply a lot of that Spanish flair, which Pep sort of has got on his side here. It's now 4 titles in a row for the Premier League. They've obviously won the Champions League in that time as well, in that 2022-2023 season. Arguably the greatest manager in history, all revolving around that possession style of football. He invented the inverted fullback in many regards, overloading central areas, utilising special playmakers in behind a centre forward, and he's constantly evolved and revolved this team in many different ways. They've gone from the pacey, direct wingers like Raheem Sterling, Leroy Sané, to the more dribbly, tricky assist-type wingers at the current point in time with Doku and Savinho. It's had many iterations this side. Right now they are struggling in the competition, in the Champions League and the Premier League. But all in all, it's been very, very successful. Tenure for Pep Guardiola at Man City. He's, I guess, shut the critics up that said he couldn't do it in the Premier League. He's done it in the Bundesliga. He's done it in Spain with Barcelona, and now he's doing it with Man City, and do it consistently, doing it easily, coasting at the Premier League. And it's all been about, I guess, that in-game management. It's a fluid system, yes. Do you invert the fullback? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. But it's all revolved around keeping the ball and having the ball as your number one target. If they keep the ball, Man City, they look at their best, they ping the ball around the park, there's chances aplenty. They're a high possession side with a high chance creation as well. And that's what Pep's built on. And it's had different sort of styles, so the inverted fullback, playing the 4 centre-backs across the back 4, whether it be the 2 deeper lying players versus now Jack Grealish or Bernardo Silva being the second deeper lying midfielder as a more aggressive number 8. There's a lot of different iterations this side. Gabriel Jesus up top as a false 9, now a proper number 9, Erling Haaland. So the thing with Pep Guardiola, what he's done in the Premier League, is constantly kept the other managers on their toes. Every manager is now inverting a fullback. Every manager now is converting centre halves to right backs and left backs. But Pep's always one step ahead. This season might not be the year for him. The team can't really support what he wants to play with. But whether it be playing out from the back, possession style of football, overloading midfield areas, it all starts at Pep Guardiola, the Spanish manager, the king of managers, and arguably the best manager of all time. Then he moved to a different style. Andoni Iraola comes across from Rayo Vallecano to Bournemouth after Gary O'Neill did a fantastic job keeping Bournemouth up. Many were questioning the appointment of Iraola, but I follow this man closely. I followed Bournemouth closely since he's joined the club and absolutely adored what he has done with this team. Again, a team that is overachieving, punching above its weight, moving mountains in many regards in what they're doing. They are playing some superb football, some superb passages, and it's down to the coaching and the leadership at Andoni Iraola. And in this modern world of football, the word coach is really a big deal, because we have a lot of managers at this current point in time, but not many coaches out there that are doing a great job. And I think what Iraola has done best is he's implemented a pressing, a non-stop energetic style of football that keeps oppositions penned in and keeps their side in possession as much as possible. Spanish managers, they want the ball, and they're going to do that. And I think there was a quote coming out from one of the Vallecano players once Iraola left the club, and they said, no matter how the game goes, whether it be really slow or pragmatic, the opposition, or whether it be a high-paced opposition in terms of intensity, they said Iraola always wants chances created for his sides. He might go concede chances at one end, but he'll want to create some of the other end. And he said that with Bournemouth a lot in the last 18 months. They're a side that creates a lot. Antoine Semenyo, Justin Kluivert, Tavernier in behind a central striker, Dom Solanke with his incredible season last year. I don't think he has that if a Gary O'Neill was in charge of that side there. I don't think he has that if an Eddie Howe's in charge of that side. And Donny Iraola has built his system around Cooking Christie in midfield, high energetic, work rate, energizer bunnies in there that press, and put opposition under pressure. And the biggest result was last season in the Premier League, Manchester United away from home, 3-0 win. One of the worst results on Erik ten Hag, probably one of the turning points, and ended in his eventual downfall. But it was their energy, it was their pressing, it was how they put United off, offset them in many regards because of how they went to Old Trafford and didn't want to sit back. They got on the front foot and wanted to create chances for themselves. And in transition, one of the best teams in the Premier League. So they're a team that have different styles of playing. They can play in possession. They can play a little bit slower. But Iraola, with his time with Vallecano, again, a time where he won 3 times versus Barcelona, once versus Real, then this season, the Premier League, beating Man City, beating Arsenal, drawing to Newcastle United, beating United across the last 2 seasons at Old Trafford. They're a side that go to big teams and make things happen. Because that is down to the Iraola style of football, that you don't fear the opposition. You make opposition fear yourself with the pace, with the precision and the ball movement that he encourages for his side. So he's got Bournemouth now being a absolutely established mid-table side where when he took over, they were a relegation candidate. When he had his first 8 games in charge, he hadn't had a win yet at Bournemouth. But he implemented his style of football. He got his players at the club that aren't world beaters, aren't top Premier League talents, but they're playing like it because they're playing to their strength. He's got a team that works hard on and with and without the ball, and as such, you see the dividends. It pays dividends because this side now is set up for success. It's a young group and it's going to be built on. So, and Donny Iraola for me is a personal favourite of mine and done a fantastic job with Bournemouth. No surprise yet again, he's another Spanish manager. The other two in the Premier League, Mikel Arteta, obviously comes across with working with Pep Guardiola, transforms this Arsenal side that was mediocre, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4th, around that spot for so many years under Arsene Wenger, never really taking that next step. And yes, I believe he has not achieved what he should have by now in terms of winning some trophies, but he's been second to arguably the best team ever in the Premier League in Man City. So that's credit in his bank. I think the biggest credit for me in the bank is, I'd say, he's a manager. He's improved the mentality and the footballing ability of a lot of these players, and he's turned this squad over and put together one of the best squads in world football. Martin Odegaard is there now, William Saliba, Gabriel, the likes of Tomiyasu being some bench players, Ben White in the side as well. Kiwior, again, someone who's often clowned, but is probably a top centre-back that will play across a lot of sides or could play full-back for a lot of clubs in the Premier League. Getting players like Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, allowing Saka to thrive in a more attacking position. Declan Rice joining the side, Thomas Partey joining the side. He has revolutionised the whole Arsenal side. You look at the side that he won the FA Cup with all those years ago. I think you can name 1 or 2 players from that starting lineup that are in and around the squad. He's totally revolutionised this squad. He's implemented winning as being the mindset of these players here, and as such, they're such a difficult team to beat. And you look at the current point in time in the Premier League, people are saying, oh, Stoke City, Corner FC. But that's just down to what Mikel Arteta has drilled into these players. He's drilled in winning. So you win at all costs. You find a way to win. If that is going to be through corners, you win through corners. And I think Arsenal fans are pretty upset with us. As long as they keep winning games of football and keeping pressure on the top of the table, they aren't fussed. But what he's done is got a side that he saw the talent. He saw ball playing potential with this side. He saw high possession players in this side, and he's gone and built on it. He's developed these players, and now they've got one of the best in possession, styles and one of the best in possession teams in the Premier League and in world football. That's come down to Mikel Arteta, his philosophies, his mindset, and his attributes that have been imparted onto his players here. Now you've got one of the top sides in England and the top sides in European football. Again, a Spanish manager doing this yet again. Unai Emery, the former Arsenal manager, obviously he's got a Ligue 1 title, 4 Europa League titles, did very well with Real, then goes and joins Aston Villa at a very low point, again, close to relegation. And since he's taken over, been a top 4 side in the Premier League, Aston Villa. Again, a different style, but again, based around possession, based around being in control of games. Within Emery, it's a more emphasis on the wing-backs, on the full-backs pushing on. Luca Digne, Matty Cash, Leon Bailey, Morgan Rogers, these wide players are so important to Emery's system. It's about hard workers in midfield that win you the ball back, and then once you win the ball back, they can keep it. They can keep possession of the football. The attacking threat comes from the wide spaces, comes from runs in behind, comes from using pace in those wide spaces, and exploiting teams in that regard. And again, another different iteration, but all built on that possession-based style of football, which seems to be synonymous with these Spanish managers. Then you look abroad, you look to Germany, and Xabi Alonso obviously put together one of the great seasons last year, the invincible league season, going unbeaten, winning the DFB Pokal, an invincible double, got one game away from a perfect invincible treble last season. They were unstoppable. Yes, they rode some luck with some late goals, but the football they played throughout was just eye-catching. You couldn't not watch Bayer Leverkusen last season. And if you missed a game or missed watching one or two games, it's a shame for you because you missed out some of the greatest football I've seen in a long time. Again, free-flowing. And again, a different variation, all built around a really attacking wing-backs, a strong back three, and a two that sit in front. You've got a back five in many regards built with no wing-backs. The wing-backs become wingers. You've got a very attacking number 10 that floats in, and you've basically got 5 sitting in and 4 pushing on. And again, still based around possession, still based around chance creation. He loves to use the half spaces, Xabi Alonso. You look at what Jeremy Frimpong, Alex Grimaldo did in the half spaces. A player like Terrier this season has to come in and fill in that role. But most importantly, the importance that was put into Florian Wirtz and Jonas Hoffmann to work in those little spaces just inside or outside the box in the half spaces, creating for the likes of Boniface and Schick, and goals were coming deluxe. But it was because of the emphasis on keeping the ball, throwing numbers forward, the commitment to go forward first, keep a hold of possession and dominate sides, and they just eventually break. And I think all the goals last season, some may say I might just say it's the style of football. When you're constantly relentlessly on the front foot, a team will eventually break, and the pressure of 90 minutes, the pressure of stoppage time, teams can make mistakes, they can open apart. And when you've been defending for these 90 minutes, when you've had 4 or 5 big chances on top of your side already, you're going to eventually break, you're going to eventually allow a massive chance. And that's why I think a lot of times last season they were scoring those late goals. It was just an overwhelming amount of attacking football, which once again was built on that possession, was built on utilising the half spaces, and again, a Spanish manager emphasising the keeping of the football. Then you got Michel at Girona, fantastic for them last season, into the top 4, into Champions League football. Again, at this point in time last year, they were top of La Liga, playing some fantastic football, obviously built around the chance creation from a wide space with Savinho there, and the big striker up top, Dovbyk. But again, a real focus on those wing-backs coming into midfield, supporting the midfield areas. The versatility of a number 6 dropping into centre-half. It was a very versatile system under Michel. Less so this year with key faces missing, but you still see it with some of their key players still at the club. The likes of young Couto last season thrived in this system where you could go into midfield, where you could show his possession, dribbling, and his passing array, and really dominate the centre of the park. Michel's side, as they always dominate possession, they dominate the middle of the park, and they're so versatile. They can win games in so many different ways of football, whether it be spreading the ball out wide, getting wingers cutting in and scoring, or getting the ball out wide like Savinho and Segankov and whipping the ball into Dovbyk in the middle. They had different avenues to winning. They could break down sides in so many different ways, and that 4-2 win away at Barcelona last season was probably the icing on the cake in many regards, because that was a culmination of all their greatest football moves. It was counter-attacking play, it was possession play, it was utilising the flanks, it was utilising the spaces inside. I think Michel is probably one of the top 5 managers in world football right now, with the way he sets his sides up, the way he can get the most out of his side with the way they play their football, and maximising players' capacities. I think you look at all these managers I've listed, they maximised every player on their team and made them play to the best of their abilities. And then for me, the top example is Luis de la Fuente, who comes into this Spanish national side. They're probably 6th or 5th favourite, even 7th favourite for the Euros in the summer. Yet they go to the tournament. The first game, you saw a statement of intent. The way they played their football, the utilisation of those spark players like Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal on the flanks. But most important, the domination in midfield areas. Fabian Ruiz in there, absolutely superb in the Euros. Rodri when he was available. When he wasn't, a Dani Olmo in there as well, Pedri. Everyone who went into that midfield dominated games of football. And it's clear to see across every manager I've mentioned, Pep Guardiola, Andoni Iraola, Mikel Arteta, Unai Emery, Michel, Xabi Alonso, Luis de la Fuente, all Spanish managers, all an emphasis on dominating possession and dominating the centre of the park. And often we say here on the podcast, the midfield battle wins you games of football. And that's taken to the next level with the Spanish managers. They know how to win that midfield battle. The emphasis on tiki-taka, one-touch football. The emphasis on utilising players' strengths, whether it be playing with width, playing in half spaces, playing on the centre of the park. These managers get the best of their players and get the best from their squads, and you see it. And that's why they're winning. That's why Pep Guardiola has done so well at Man City. That's why he's done so well in the past. That's why Unai Emery's won so many Europa Leagues and why he's doing such great work with Aston Villa. Why Andoni Iraola's got Bournemouth being a mid-table to possibly a European side this season because of the transformation he's made in possession of the football. Why Mikel Arteta's taken an average Arsenal side to being a title contender the last 2 seasons. Why Xabi Alonso's gone invincible last season and nearly got the perfect treble. Why Michel got Girona to the Champions League and why this season they're back amongst the sort of top 5 or 6 in their division, and why Luis de la Fuente won the title, the Euro 2024 title with Spain, was he got the best of every player. They played fantastic in possession. They're able to absorb pressure in different moments in time as well. And I think the biggest thing at all with their possession, all these managers have, it's never negative. It's always wanting to move the ball forward, move the ball with pace, get oppositions offset, and keep your side on the front foot. And that's simply why they've been some of the best teams in world football. That's why I think the Spanish managers are going to dominate or are here to stay and dominating world football, because there's a lot of examples already and I think more will come to follow. That's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Is it just a bit of luck that some Spanish managers dominate this current point in time? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please smash a like on it, subscribe to the Players Zone channel for videos like these, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload here on the channel. With that being said, I hope you have a great day, guys. Enjoy the upcoming football festive action, and I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.